Have you ever tried to make a DIY that just didn't work? I did. Hi loves, it's Lacey, and welcome to our space. This is the DIY that made me crazy and did not work. Well, like I said, it didn't work, but it works now. This is my Snowman snow globe with a snowman in its belly, and it actually works. But let me tell you, I spent 3 weeks trying to make it work, and so my footage is going to be a little all over the place. We're going to start off here with this fish bowl. It is 8 inches in diameter. The opening is about 4.5 inches. It's flat on the bottom, but it is indented in the bottom. Yours doesn't need to be indented. And when you get done, of course, this is what it's going to look like. You don't have to worry about it being indented in the bottom because the scarf will cover up where his head meets the snow globe. This is the base, or part of the base. It is the Dollar Tree miniature tree collar, and I have it in red. It comes in other colors. I also have this. I don't know what it really is. It's MDF and it's covered with felt that's got some sparkle to it. And I'm going to call it a reef form. I don't think it is. I got it at a liquidation place with a whole bunch of other stuff. Ignore the other stuff that's down here because we are using that. And we're going to place our tree collar on top of it to make it taller. I had to do this because it did not work when it was just the tree collar by itself. And we'll get into that a little bit later. Then, here it is with one of Dollar Tree's foam wreaths on the bottom of it. I did not use this in the end, as you saw. But, since you won't be able to get that other little black thing, you can use that to lift yours up. Because if you want to try to use this Dollar Tree fan, which did not work for me. I know, this sounds crazy, doesn't it? I'm trying to tell you how it worked and how it didn't work. I wanted it on the stand so I could put this puck light underneath of it, and so it had to be taller. But as you can see, this is my finished product, and I'm going to show you how to make it, but I don't use the green foam one. You can use it instead of the black that I have at the bottom and like paint it black or paint it red to blend in, or even white, whatever you want. I put snow on mine, and then I didn't end up using it. So for the bottom of this, to hold all my decorations, I use some drawer liner from Dollar Tree and jumbo popsicle sticks. I ended up using 2 popsicle sticks, so I show you a little later that I did put 2 together twice, so I had 4, but I only ended up using 2. And then for the snow inside of this, I had Dollar Tree snow, but it would not work. So I ended up going to Hobby Lobby. Actually, my hubby did, and bought this. And at Hobby Lobby, they're called foam pebbles, and they're 99 cents right now. They're half off. Then I have the inside decorations that go at the bottom of the snow globe. I have some foliage from Hobby Lobby, and I use a little bit of that. I have these Dollar Tree flat white trees. I used one. You can see it's missing. And then I used some of my Christmas foliage from Department 56 and put in that little snowman. I also ended up using some Dollar Tree miniature bottle brush trees. I have 2 of them inside of it. And this glass little tree that came from Target's Dollar Spot like 2-3 years ago. I really like the coloring of it. And I was going to use these little trees, but those foam pebbles, they stick to the little tiny ones, and I knew they would be all stuck in the other ones, so I didn't do it. I also have this little snowman right there. When I couldn't find these foam pebbles, my sister Jo found this glass at Dollar Tree that had them in the top. The problem is, some of them are so tiny, they went through my material. The first material I tried, because actually the drawer liner was the second material I tried. And this is what the cup looks like. They come in different colors and they have different things on the inside. So I'm going to show you the first material I tried just to show you how I traced the inside of my collar onto the material that was going to be the bottom of my snow globe to hold all those decorations. It is for like cross stitching material. It's got little holes all the way around it in like kind of a grate. I tried that. It didn't work. So then I took it and I used it as a template, what I cut out and I cut out the drawer liner. And you can see over there, I still have the popsicle sticks. I researched this. My friends researched this. My sister researched it for me. We tried to figure out why, when I put this together, and I'm not going to lie, like 10 different times, the snow would never fly. And so we figured out that the drawer liner was going to be our best bet. I saw several people on YouTube use it, and I'm sorry I don't have any of the names, but if you research it, you'll see several people use the drawer liner. I saw that they glued popsicle sticks together sometimes. Some people actually just put a piece of wood board across theirs, but either way, I use the popsicle sticks. It's going to show that I have them crisscross across the bottom here. I glue this one down to my material. I put the material down and then the popsicle stick down and then glue the material to it. And then I do put the other one on the other side of it. And I take it off because I wanted as much of that drawer liner free for the air to come through, because I thought that was my main issue. Why my snow never took off with the Dollar Tree fan. And then you can see here, I'm putting on my snowman. I glued the tree to the back of them in other footage that I couldn't find, because when I say I made this 10 different ways, I made this 10 different ways, and it drove me crazy. So I left these glued together instead of taking them off, because you probably won't have the same materials that I have in the first place. And so I'm just gluing them down to that top popsicle stick. And you can see it's in an X. I take the bottom one off. It's only the one that's horizontal on my mat there that we use. So I had enough space. Then I poured beads in, and I turned this upside down on there. Remember, there's only one popsicle stick. The bottom one I took off in the end. And that bottle brush tree that's on there, new, didn't use it. I'm just testing to make sure it'll go inside of my tree collar. And I do take off that green foam at the bottom. So once I get that on like that, and I make sure that my material goes all the way around and over the edge of my fish bowl, then I can glue it down. I'm just checking here. Everything goes over the edge. You can't have it right at the edge, or else it will fall apart on you. Believe me, it did on me earlier. So I just glue it down around all the edges, make sure it's all sealed, or else those pebbles will find a way to get out of there, because I had that happen to me too. And when I poured them out of the bowl a couple of times, when I redid the whole thing, they were all over the floor. So this is what it looks like. It looks really pretty. It's really clear. I actually like how this turned out without the bottle brush trees and stuff in it. So this is how I made it work. It is a computer fan. It's like a fan that will go inside a desktop computer. My husband got this. He builds computers, and it has a cord. They normally don't come with the cord because they're inside the box, and the box is attached to the wall. So he had one of these, and he let me have it. And so I took it and took a square wooden dowel and cut some legs so it would be up, and I can put the light underneath it so my thing would also light up. And it ended up working by mistake, because you see the front legs are off, because when I moved it underneath in the collar to make the light shine better, they kind of tipped off. They weren't all the way off. They tipped forward, and it made it lean at an angle. And then all of a sudden, it worked. Oh, and this may not be necessary, but this is a cord that it comes with. You can detach it from the fan, so you can work on the fan like I did to put the legs on. So here it is. It works so well, and I'm in love with it. So now it's time to decorate the top part that you see here. His head with his hat and the cardinal and his scarf and all. So let's go through that quickly. This is the styrofoam ball that I got from Hobby Lobby years ago. It's 5.74 inches wide. And this is the hat that came in a Michael's grab bag that I got like 2 years ago. I know they sell both of these at several different stores. You should be able to find it. This is a carrot that came from Dollar Tree, and it's plastic. And I also have buttons from a Dollar Tree. The carrots from Easter time, of course. I have a lot of carrots. You can use anything you want. If you don't have anything like that, you can roll up some foam board in orange. And then the buttons came out of one of their little containers. I also have this cardinal. And what's a snowman without a cardinal sitting on his hat? And the Dollar Tree buffalo check scarf. I also have the cork that I use for his pipe, his corn cob pipe. So anyway, as you can see, I am struggling to push in this hat. It was on a very long stem that I had to have my husband use his strength to cut with my wire cutters. Then I glued down the back and the front of it a little because it looked really weird when it was tucked in, or as far as I could get it tucked in. I had already decided that I wanted to use this hat tipped sideways a little. You see it, how it's sideways on his head. And if you've been on my channel before, you know I am extra, so I added more greenery and stuff to it. And then next, I decided to put his nose on first. And I got smaller buttons for his eyes. I'm using my Ryobi X-Acto knife to cut the nose because I had a lot of these, and if you cut it with scissors, they get squished weird and they won't cut straight properly. So I just use my X-Acto knife. Then I'm going to show you that I take it and I hold it up to see where I want it, because you want the nose in the right spot before you do the eyes. And then I actually put it on top of the snow globe to see where it is. And then you can just press it into the styrofoam and it'll make an indentation. And then you can glue it on right where you know you want it to be. It's harder to judge this, I think. If you just hold it down, it might not be straight. But if you're whimsical, which I normally am, I just want to present it the best for you. And like if I was selling this, then I'd want it to be the best. This is the way I did it. So it's really cute when you get it on there nice and straight. Then after that, I put the eyes on, and I'm not going to show you how I put on all of the mouth. I'll just say that now, because that took me forever. They're so little. I have nails and I couldn't pick them up and put them on, but I just do a tiny bit of glue and I go in a circle and I let it dry a little. It's sped up just a little, and then I put the eyeball on, because these are real buttons and they have holes in it, so the glue will seep through, so I tried not to do that. Then I just set it up against my snow globe, and I use my Ryobi little tweezers. They're really long tweezers. They're for like tools and stuff with plastic on the end. And I figure out where I want the mouth. And I'm not going to show you that footage. It took forever for me to get them on there with my nails. And this is how it looks. After that, my husband also cut me an extra piece off of the hat. I still have the long stem. You can see him throwing the stuff at me for doing it, because I was dying by then for my hands. He stripped off some of the paper that was on it, and it was from the hat there. And then you can see the metal, and I just stuck that in about 2/3 down, so it will look really nice for his pipe, and just twisted it in there. It worked pretty fine. Then when I went to go put it in his mouth, this styrofoam is very, very dense. I am going to show you where I put it, but I just made a hole with some scissors and stuck it in there with a little hot glue. Again, I tested out on it so I can see exactly where I want it, and I do stick it in kind of diagonal and down. And he has a pipe. And then lastly, I am taking, well, I guess one more thing past this, but I'm taking the buffalo check scarf and cutting it so it's even. And I cut off part of it on the side so it's not so wide, because it's way too much fabric for the size of my snow globe. And then I'm just fringing the two sides together. They don't have to match or anything. It was just quicker and easier to do it this way. And then I'm going to just fold it around like a regular scarf, fluffed it in the end, and then I took the cardinal and put a little tiny bit of alien tape on it and stuck him on his hat because I didn't want to mess it up. And then I turned it on and it It works so well. I'm so excited about this. I literally was very sad, and everyone I know, except for my sister Jill, said just give up. And I said I can't. I want this to work, and it works. I'm so happy for it. As you can see, some of the snow is stuck to the back because eventually you get static clean. This is going at like half speed, but at full speed, it looks like a blizzard. And since we live in Michigan and we had a bunch of snow here already, it's normal for it to go full speed and look like a blizzard. I am in love with this, and I cannot tell you how upset I was because I saw other people make this with the Dollar Tree fan that it would not work. Even after I knew to tip it, I put the Dollar Tree fan back in there and tried to use the Dollar Tree fan, and it never worked. So this is it at full speed. You can see it got a whole lot faster. And I know some people are like, well, are you sure you're using that fan? Here it is. Here is the fan. I have my Ryobi inverter here because it plugs in just into a regular outlet. I want to share me turning it on. You can see it's bubbling up just a little bit on the side. And the more you turn it up, the more it goes. And this is all the way up. And then you can turn it down. So I turned it down 0.25%. And it's still going really nicely. And then I'm going to turn it way back up and it goes like a blizzard. You know, here's the thing. I have a popsicle stick under there. And if the air is hitting the popsicle stick directly, it doesn't work as well. So you have to make sure that you have your popsicle stick going horizontal with the words on the front of the collar. And I'm going to pick it up and show you that the fan's underneath there. And also you can see the light is changing colors because my puck light that's battery operated is under there. And there is the fan. Now I'm shaking it to get some of the pebbles off of the wall because it's making static. And I've turned it slightly different. See that? And it will still work with it turned slightly different. There's no extra airflow that is needed in the bottom. I had it up on legs at one point, the little black part, and it doesn't need it. It just makes it louder for when it goes. And it still will work. I'm turning up slowly and it'll pick up and speed. This is halfway. And then this is 3/4 of the way, and then this is fully. It will work better when the highest corner is in a section of the drawer liner that doesn't have anything obstructing it. I'm going to pick it up with it running to show you the fan is running. You can see the fan, this fan going. And you can also see that it's kind of crooked in there. That is by design. It's up and leaning forward because the front legs are shorter, and then it's crooked because if I put it straight across, it would blow on the popsicle stick. So, and I knocked my little bird off. So that's how I got it to work. If you've done this, that's how I got it to work. And I wanted to make sure to explain it. So that's it for this video. Comment down below. Do you love it? I love it. And are you going to attempt to make one of these? Everything I had was in my stash except for the pebbles and for the fan. Everything else was in my stash. It's pretty cheap. Right now, I know the fan is $13 and the pebbles are 99 cents. But you might have a fan that actually works for you, or else you can get the Dollar Tree fan to work. And if you do, please let me know. But that's it for this video, and I will catch all of you in my next one. Bye, loves.